So good morning, boys and girls. I was sitting around eating my breakfast, eating a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, and I asked myself, where did this come from? And then I wonder what kids think about where their breakfast comes from. So I asked my daughter, she's 4 years old, and I said, Jillian, where do you think our breakfast came from today? And she said, well, Daddy, the store. I said, oh, that's a good answer. But then I asked her, where did the store get it from? And she gave me this look like, so I asked her a question. I said, well, Jilly, is somebody sitting in the back of the store with a magic wand going, bippity boppity Cheerios? And she was like, no. I said, well, where did the store get it from? And that's where we start our lesson today. We're going to take a trip back in time and we're going to look at economics again. And when we think about economics, we're thinking about resources and choices. So the next time you eat a bowl of cereal, think about what goes into making and selling those flakes, puffs, or pops. There are natural resources. The wheat or rice the cereal is made from and the trees that were cut down to make paper for the box. There are human resources. Farmers who grow the crops, people who bake the flakes, the designers who create the box art, and the cashier who rings up your purchase. There are capital resources, machines that cut the wheat, factories where the flakes are made, trucks that bring the boxes of cereal to the grocery stores, and so much more. Everything is connected. When you put all these together, you have producers, people, the human resources, who use the natural and capital resources to make products. And your project this week is going to be to use this chart over here on the side, where you list human, natural, and capital resources. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to think about your day. And as you go through the day, you're going to write down 5 human resources that have helped you throughout the day, 5 natural resources that you have used throughout the day, and 5 capital resources which enabled those natural and human resources to deliver the goods and services that we often take for granted and don't realize where they all come from. So let's talk about specialization. Geography often plays a big role in what a person or company can produce. Think about it. People who live in deserts with no rivers or inland far from the ocean are not going to be good at building boats. If you live in a place surrounded by water, you will need boats. Soon, you might open a shipyard. Then you will hire people with special skills to build and repair the boats. When all this happens, you have become specialized. People and regions often specialize in the production of certain goods and services. The aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman was built in Newport News, a Virginia city with a specialization in building boats. Even though our state builds these huge ships, we still depend on goods and services that come from other parts of the world to make them. These days, many ships are made from steel. There are no big steel mills in Virginia, so we get our steel from someplace else. We also have to buy other materials we do not produce to make the ships. The buying and selling of things to produce goods and services is known as trade. What happens when we need something that cannot be made or found where we live? We must trade because people want goods and services they don't have. City dwellers need stores that sell fresh fruits and vegetables. Farmers who grow these crops need machines made in factories. These businesses may trade to get the goods and services they do not have. Can you explain why trade can be beneficial? Think about this. Virginia has coal mines, so we sell coal to other states and countries. But we do not produce much oil to heat our homes or gas to run our cars. We must buy oil and gas from areas that specialize in those products. We rely on others for many of the things we need to live. We sell our coal to areas that need it, and in return, we buy goods or services we cannot produce here in Virginia. Everyone benefits. Rolling through. Making choices. Do you get an allowance? Have you ever received a birthday card with money tucked inside? Have you ever earned money for doing chores? It's nice to have all that money, but it is sometimes hard to decide what to spend it on. There are so many good things to do with it. You have to make an economic choice and decide what to do. Some items cost a lot, such as the hottest new video games. You could buy lots and lots of candy for the price of one game, but the candy will not last, while you will own the game for a long time. You might save your money for something really big, such as a new bike or a nifty skateboard. Or you could give some of your money to charity and help someone who is in need. What economic choice would you make? Sometimes it's not easy to decide, since all choices require giving something else up. Imagine that you just received $20 and have gone to a big toy store to spend it. You have to make an economic choice. You would like to buy a new set of Legos, but you are also tempted by a brand new Blu-ray of a movie you love. Since you cannot afford both, you have to compare the two. If you buy the Blu-ray, you will lose the opportunity to build cool things with the blocks. This is called the opportunity cost. If you choose the blocks, you will miss the opportunity to watch that great movie. What would you do? All right, ladies and gentlemen, your project for this week is you're going to create a chart similar to the one I have here. People have asked me, do I need to put this on posters in order to turn it in? The answer to that is absolutely not. I would just use a plain old regular piece of paper, maybe even the back of something, so that you can reduce, reuse, and help to recycle some of our products. I use posters so that you can see them on camera. It makes a little more sense for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 3 types of economic resources. Human resources, which are the people that help to produce these goods and services. Natural resources, things that come from nature. And capital resources, which are equipment or stuff that people use to sell the goods. So I'm going to go back to my breakfast. I had a bowl of Cheerios with milk in it. I had a spoon in the bowl. Human resources. The first human resource that I can see that helped me acquire this good was the farmer. But the farmer doesn't live in the back of the grocery store, so that farmer also needed a truck driver to take the farm product to the plant where they are going to make the Cheerios, because they don't make the Cheerios at the grocery store. And then I'm going to take it all the way to the end, and I'm going to write down the cashier. This is the final person in the process who makes the transaction where you give your money to them and they give the good to you in return. Now, thinking back also about my breakfast, I have to think about natural resources. And so to figure that out, I looked at the ingredients on the box. First ingredient, whole grain oats. Oats are a product that comes from nature. So that would definitely be one of the natural resources to use. The manufacturer of this product gives us a clue to another natural resource. And here he is. These are Honey Nut Cheerios. And honey, created by the bees, is also a natural resource. And then finally, the last natural resource, and you could probably come up with 50 of them if you really got creative. I'm going to use iron. Can anybody think of how iron helped me to eat my breakfast? My spoon. It's made out of metal. It probably has some type of iron in it. So that's one of the natural resources that was used in the process of creating my breakfast. Now, capital, the equipment or stuff that people use to sell the goods. The farmer, he used a tractor, or she used a tractor. The truck driver, what capital resource did a truck driver use to deliver this cereal to the store? Thank you, Captain Obvious. He or she used a truck. And let's see, the cashier. Was the cashier standing out in the middle of the woods selling boxes of cereal? No, they absolutely were not. So I'm going to put the last capital resource as the store. Maybe it was Walmart, Kroger, Publix, Food Lion, wherever it is that your family shops. That would be the capital resource in this project. Your job is to think about economic resources that you use throughout the day. And I need a list of 5. I only did 3. You need to do 5. Of 5 human resources that you use throughout the day. 5 natural resources that help to create the goods or services that you're using. And 5 capital resources. Let's say that you were sitting down watching a movie on Netflix. Were there any human resources who helped to create and deliver that movie? There were probably hundreds, if not thousands of them. Let's say that you were sitting around playing video games. You were on your Xbox, you were on your PlayStation. Are there any natural resources that were used to create an Xbox or a PlayStation? Xbox and PlayStation have plastic parts. They have metal parts. Where do you think plastic and metal comes from? And then capital resources. How did you acquire those goods? Were they delivered on a truck? Did you buy them from a store? That's what you need to think about as you look at the 5 capital resources that you're going to add to your project. Once again, please feel free to reach out to me at any time for any reason if I can be of any assistance to you and your family. Thank you and have a great day.